Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to serve as a follow-up to the video that we did somewhere around the beginning of February or mid-February this year, of course. Yeah, so we have this sister. Let me just give you a quick fresh up, like, remind you all about this video, just in case Namulaba you've forgotten about this. Okay, so this video, this sister attended a hockey game that was on the 9th of February last month, this year. Okay, so you know how it is when you're in open places, it's a hockey game. Of course, I will take videos, pictures and all that. Yeah, so yeah, she was there excited and watching everything that was happening, capturing good moments. Okay, and you know how it is at games. Okay, most of the games seats are arranged in tiers, like one below the other one up, just like that. So it happened that this palm color woman, this woman was sitting below her and she was above, so she could see like everything that was going on, capturing. And there's this feeling that we get, especially when we're around palm color women, because we know, yeah, you get it. As she was capturing everything that was going on around her, she saw something that captured her interest, like her mind of everything. She read something like black people and she was like, she shifted her attention to this woman's phone. And I don't want to hear in the comments that why wasn't she minding her own business. Okay, we discussed about that in my other video concerning this topic. Okay, she saw this. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with the details. I'm gonna let TZ end break this down for you guys, because like he's been following this topic from the way it goes. Watch these videos and I will be right back to give my own 2 cents.
Strap in, because this one's going to be a doozy and there's a lot going on here. To set this up, a black woman on February 9th went to attend her first hockey game, the Washington Capitals game. Went there very excited, was recording videos, really happy about being at the game. And shortly after taking her seat, she noticed a white woman who was sitting in front of her having a text conversation with someone who was saved in her phone as Jimmy. And normally she wouldn't pay attention to something like that, but the text was very large and certain words jump off the page, especially as a black woman. When you see someone texting like black people or blacks, that's going to get your attention. So she started paying attention, and what she saw was very upsetting. And I think when we go through these still shots, you'll see why she was upset. So obviously blue would be the woman's responses. The gray boxes would be Jimmy. Here you have part of a conversation: employment, education, and the criminal justice system. Serbia is considered one of the most rich countries. The woman sent him that. Jimmy responds, "That's hilarious. So they're saying America exists because schools in the hood are worse and blacks commit crimes and are too lazy to get jobs?" She had sent him something and said, "You didn't know that?" He responded, "I do know about that. It's just crazy. Blacks probably have more experience because the hood is such a social environment. They don't travel the world like rich whites." She responds, "Right, and they say like in reading comprehension parts and tests that it's saying something about, I'm assuming black people not testing as well, but I don't see the full message, so can't say that for a fact." Next comes this one. Jimmy said, "The CIA has done mean things to black people and have been targeted black people, but overall nobody has been so kind and welcoming as the white world." No one's been so kind and welcoming to black people as the white world, according to Jimmy. She responds, "Abortion doesn't target people. Black people have partners and so have a higher risk of pregnancy." That's her response. Which brings us to this one. Jimmy says woke people are brain dead. It's easier for blacks to get into college than whites because colleges want to take people from poverty. To which she replies, "It is hardest for white females in suburban areas to get into college." And then is following that up with, "We have the highest GPAs and colleges want diversity, so they won't take us even if our grades, test scores, extracurricular." You could see maybe why this was upsetting to the woman sitting behind her. And this isn't all of it, because the final straw for her, and she was too upset when she saw this to think to pull out her phone and try and record it. Her partner was trying to console her, okay? But she swears on everything, and I have talked to her and confirmed this, that she then saw Jimmy text to the woman and say, "I wish whites would all blacks, as well as I want to commit." And what got her so upset, as bad as that is, was that the woman texting with him just sort of moved on from it, like continued the conversation, wasn't like, what the fuck are you talking about? She said all of that. She was distraught. She said the only reason she didn't confront the woman is because the woman was there with a couple of young kids. And for their sake, she didn't just blow the fuck up. But after hours of this, that woman got up to leave. And she got a very clear image of her. And then she messaged me after posting her video on TikTok and asked if I could help with this. And it took me very little time, quite frankly, to take this image and from that find this image of that woman attending a Capitals game. She also said that this looked like the young children she was with. That image led me to this image, which led me to this very professional looking picture that is on the website of her employer. That employer being One Alpine Group, which you can see from this LinkedIn is listed as a top 20 DC lobbying firm. And as you can see on their employment page, she's right there, Courtney Johnson, listed as a principal with Alpine Group. Actually, if you go to her LinkedIn, she's listed as the senior vice president at Alpine Group. And if you go to the Alpine Group website and you click on her picture, it pulls up her bio page. It says that Courtney Johnson was recognized as a top lobbyist by The Hill and is dynamic, experienced, and highly motivated government affairs professional with a proven track record of successful advocacy. Now, she has spearheaded and executed numerous advocacy campaigns on major health legislation. The woman you saw carrying on that text conversation is a top lobbyist in DC with a huge firm who has spearheaded and executed numerous advocacy campaigns on major health legislation. So working on health legislation while making statements in her private life, such as black people have more sex partners and so have a higher risk of pregnancy. That I guess black people are just more promiscuous. Now, sharing what I found with the victim, we decided not to just jump into a video. And instead, at her encouragement and blessing, I reached out to Keenan Austin Reed, the CEO. I sent those screenshots as well as the image of her and then said, the video's available if you want it. She said, yes, please send me the video. I sent her that. And then I didn't hear anything. So after a full day, I emailed her and said, hey, making a video. I don't know if Alpine Group would like to make a statement. She said yes, and she sent the following. We are aware of this issue and have placed Ms. Johnson on administrative leave while we look into this. These statements are inconsistent with our values, culture, and beliefs as an organization. Statement from the Alpine Group. I'll tell you that the woman that experienced that recorded those images, didn't love this response, and I'm not crazy about it myself. But this is their response. So there it is. Also don't know who Jimmy is. I didn't see a Jimmy or a James who works at Alpine, so I guess that's good. Although considering the circles she runs in, he could still be someone important. And what he was saying was absolutely vile. So maybe after January 20th, this is just considered not as big a deal to some people. Still a big deal to me. Still a big deal to that woman who experienced it. I think it's still a big deal to a lot of people in America, regardless of their political affiliation. So I will keep tabs on this, and if I hear anything more, I will let you all know.
It was the audacity for me. Y'all talking like y'all from the hood. How do y'all know how we travel? It's a lot of us, actually, that come from the hood and travel every day. Yeah, we do. And we are some of the most smartest people here on this here earth. Whatever about abortions, that shit was crazy. But my thing was, why was you having that discussion and you was supposed to be, paying attention to the game? You was out with kids. But the conversation was not about the game. It was about people that y'all don't even like. Why are we always the topic of discussion? I don't know. I don't think that I can function well or be out in public knowing that I will be surrounded by people that I don't like. Just knowing that it's people that I don't like out here in this world. I got so much hatred towards a certain race that when the time comes for me to go out and have some fun, that I can't really do that because I'm having this hate conversation about these people that I just can't stand. which is crazy because, like, I wonder if they had dreams about us. Y'all think they had dreams about us? Because I think they probably have dreams about us. And they probably, like, have nightmares. And that's probably why a lot more of them go to therapy. Because, like, if... I don't know. I just feel like if a certain race of people was just heavily on my mind to where, like, every time I was trying to have fun, it was always the topic of discussion. Or, like... I don't know, like, we are always just, like, there. Even when we're not there, we're in our head. So, like, that's a lot of therapy. What y'all think? And the genocide thing is what really got me because, like, y'all, we already know y'all feel like that. But, like, why don't y'all go ahead and try so y'all can fuck around and find out? I mean, y'all hate us that bad. Let's get it on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've been ready. We've been ready. I'm pretty sure that she already done had the day that she deserves. And her little text buddy, I'm pretty sure that he's next if they ain't already found him. Cause, like, I don't know who's smarter, TikTok or black women. So yeah, I hope they both had the day that they deserved.
Now, as bad as that one little clip was, the entire video is much, much worse. Especially the reaction from certain people. And the comments are even worse. Because there's a bunch of people going, she should have minded her business. It was a private conversation. No, it wasn't. Number one, she was in public. Number two, the text was big enough for anybody sitting around her to see. It just happens to be a black woman that saw it. And people are going, oh, it's a private conversation. Listen, take your phone. Don't open anything. Just walk around, just spouting things like your favorite movies or a sports team you really hate or your favorite song or, you know, a singer or band you really can't stand. In 10 minutes, you will have a bunch of advertisements all over your social media for that shit. There's no privacy anymore in public or even in private. You know, you might have your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, or whatever, privated from other people. You know who it's not private from? The companies that own those social media apps. So Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, if you're on X, can just look at everything. Everything you're posting, your DMs, everything. So if you're getting upset because somebody happens to see a racist rant on social media and talks about it, suck it up, buttercup. You need a helmet because the world's going to take you for a fucking ride.
Okay, so I'm gonna base this commentary according to my finding out, as in my research, because it seems like this palm color woman and Jimmy really need to, you know, they need to be educated on this. So I did my research. I'm gonna put this commentary in a way that it's gonna be educational, you know, like responding to these texts between Jimmy and this palm color woman. So according to the first one I'm gonna be talking about is this one where she talks about you know, black people being the ones that commit more crime than the rest of the other races. Okay, so according to the Bureau of Prisons, BOP provides statistics on the number of federal inmates, their race, and other related information. So, inmate population, okay, as of February 20th, 2025, this information is according to Google, 155,022 federal inmates. Of those, 142,529 were in BOP custody, and 12,493 were in other facilities. The data is updated every Thursday at 12 hours a.m. Okay, so inmate race. Okay, as of February 22, 2025, the racial breakdown of inmates was, listen to this, Asian 1.6%, okay, black people. That is 38.7% only, okay? 2.9% Native American and 56.8% white folks. And there's this part where this Jimmy mentioned that white folks are welcoming to black people. I'm trying to get like a point, like what did he mean by that? Did he mean they welcomed black people, black folks in the US years back, or okay, I think this Jimmy needs a little bit of education on this. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about white people, how they gained land from indigenous people of America through treaties, the Indian Removal Act of 1830, and the establishment of reservations. Let's start with the treaties, okay? So from 1814 to 1824, Andrew Jackson negotiated treaties with southern tribes that gave the U.S. control over parts of Alabama, Florida, and other states. The treaties were agreed by tribes in exchange for the land in the West and to protect themselves from the harassments. Indian Removal Act of 1830. This act forced Native Americans off their ancestral lands to make way for white settlement. Does that sound like white people made way for black people? Humble yourself, Jimmy. I don't know what to call this, but it seemed like Jimmy and this palm color woman had a lot to say. You know, they have so much. I can only imagine what she talks about the women that she works with in her workplace, at her workplace. I mean, these two had a lot to talk about. Ignorantly, I must say. These two guys are not educated because everything they're saying, it's from the heart of white mashes. You know, I don't want to say the word. I mean, YouTube really easily picks up that word. Palm color supremacists, yes. Yeah. They're speaking all these things out of that. Yeah, so they also spoke about, they mentioned, they also talked about, they as in we have them between Jimmy and the palm color woman, that they have the highest GPAs, and colleges want diversity, so they won't take us, even if our grades, tests, scores, curriculum, okay, that text didn't finish. So in short, like what she's trying to say is that palm colors are smarter. They get to have higher test scores. You know, their curriculums are better than the black folks, whatever they've mentioned in this text. It's like they're trying to say that black people don't deserve to be in colleges. You know, they should not be considered first, okay, because of diversity. I know I'm going to talk about I will give a commentary on this one using affirmative action. I know diversity, inclusion, and equity, they are not the same with affirmative action, but I'm going to talk about affirmative action to answer this one. Okay, so affirmative action policies were primarily designed to address historical and systemic inequalities faced by marginalized groups. Okay, so this palm color is playing like white people are all perfect and all that. You know, affirmative action was put in place because of inequalities, okay, and systemic inequalities and fairness, particularly black Americans and other people of color in areas such as education, employment, and business opportunities. Okay, so if although what she's saying is true, like they get to have higher scores, higher grades, why were they being treated unfairly? Why they put in place affirmative action to consider them, to consider us, to consider black Americans, okay, because they were being treated unfairly, even though they had what it took to be in places they were supposed to be. Okay, it's fear. I can say affirmative action was introduced. No, before they introduced, there was fear, you know. They feared black people. That's why they didn't put them in employment and everything that needed, whatever they deserved. That was fear. So they put in place affirmative action, to make it seem like they're saints. They've brought this to accommodate white people, black people. Meanwhile, that was never the case. Follow me on this, okay? So in areas such as education, employment, and business opportunities, the primary beneficiary of these policies have been members of historically disadvantaged groups, including black people who have faced centuries of discrimination, segregation, and exclusion in the United States. I mean, we watch movies where a stepmother is mistreating the stepdaughter. I don't know if that is common in the US, but we see it mostly in Nigerian movies, African movies. I don't know if it happens like stepmothers mistreat their stepchildren that side. Mostly the stepmothers that mistreat the children. It's that the stepdaughter is intelligent, they are doing better than their child. I hope I'm making sense. Okay? So this discrimination, the segregation, it was all the act of fear. They acted, even up to now, it's happening. I think white people are scared. They are in fear. They fear black people. Scared and fear are two different things. You fear somebody because they possess something that you can never have. That's my conclusion. Okay? Yeah, so they faced discrimination, segregation, and exclusion in the US. Black people as beneficiaries of affirmative action. So affirmative action has helped increase access to higher, education, employment, and economic opportunities for black Americans who have historically been excluded from these areas due to systemic racism and discrimination. For example, affirmative action policies in college admissions have increased the enrollment of black students in universities, particularly in selective institutions where they were previously, and this is before this affirmative action was struck down. Okay, so I'm talking about who benefited. Let's take this information as before. Okay, so white people and affirmative action. While affirmative action primarily targets marginalized groups, some white folks, white people, individuals, particularly white women, have also benefited from these policies. You see, that is white privilege right there, right? Because I mean, why would palm color women be benefiting from something that was made for the marginalized groups? Okay, let that sink in. Studies have shown that palm color women are among the largest beneficiaries of affirmative action in the workplace, in colleges. Okay, as these policies have helped break down gender barriers in hiring and promotions. I hope that makes sense, Jimmy. Like, a lot is going on in this video, the text between Jimmy and the palm color woman. Okay, yeah, so if I decide to respond to every detail in this text, the exchange text, the whatever they were exchanging between these two, if I try and respond to each and every point, whatever, this is going to take us the whole day. But this is why I have you guys. This is where you come in. Please feel free to educate me on whatever I've said about this information. Educate me, and please let's do it with cautious. This is YouTube. They're gonna flag your comments. Maybe try to use some codes. Okay. Let's try to exercise that. Don't say the words as they are. Don't text them as they are. Otherwise, your comments will be flagged. And remember that I don't do that. It's the YouTube system that does that. So, and remember that we don't support bullying on this channel. Let's try and educate this Jimmy and this person. Okay, like there's a lot going on. Like this. You can imagine this conversation went on for 1 hour plus. You can imagine what was spoken, what was exchanged between these two, rent-free in white people's heads, right? Whew. There's a part where Jamie mentioned that he wishes that palm colors can, capiche all the black folks. That would make Jimmy a happy person. Oh my goodness, Jimmy. I hope he's found as well. Okay, I hope he's found and TikTok makes him viral. We need to know Jimmy. Everybody needs to know this Jimmy. Yeah. So guys, I think we've come to the end of this video for me, but I'm looking forward to reading your comments, what you think about this video in the comment section down below. And please, let's keep this conversation. Like I said, we don't want YouTube to censor your comments. We want to read your comments. We want to know what you really think about this video down below. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you do, so that every time I upload such content, you'll be notified. You'll be the first one to know. I will definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.